Right, blessings, everybody. This is Saoirse doing another video book review for Pagan Pages. And this time I am very pleased to be reviewing Animal Medicine, a Curanderismo guide to shapeshifting, journeying, and connecting with animal allies. And this is by the very prolific Erika Buenaflor with her master's degree. Now, the wonderful thing about Erika is she has her foot in the spirit realm and in the material realm. She is college educated, and she has also been studying with elders of the Hispanic tradition of Curanderismo. And she's done shamanism studies, but she's not done them in the way that white people do, with other white people who have no connection with those communities. She has blood ties with those communities, and she is an authority on these things. I'm going to read her wonderful biography here. She has a master's degree in religious studies with a focus on Mesoamerican shamanism from the University of California at Riverside. A practicing curandera for more than 20 years, descended from a long line of grandmother curanderas. She has studied with curanderas in Mexico, Peru, and Los Angeles, and gives presentations on many things, including at UCLA. She lives in California. You can also type in her name online, and she is good enough to put some free educational videos on YouTube. You can look her up and see anything you want to. This is a 2021 publication, and it's published by Bear and Company. It is 201 pages. And what this book is about, it includes an A to Z dictionary of 76 spirit animals. What this is about is how we can connect with the spirits of animals and how they influence us in our daily life as spiritual people. So I'll do a little reading for you. First, this is her introduction. The people of ancient Mesoamerica largely understood the fauna around them to be related to and manifestations of the sacred in the cosmos. Animals were thought to serve as messengers or agents for deities or other supernatural beings, connected people with a particular deity or sacred phenomena, and provided omens. Lay people, fishermen, hunters, and farmers engaged in ritual animal invocations to ensure success in hunting and fishing, prevent animals from doing damage to their fields, and deter ants from certain areas and actions. Diviners, shamans, and healers interpreted the appearance and actions of animals in the physical world and in dreams to assess and determine numerous kinds of everyday situations. Animals were also prominent in the people's myths and legends and served as models and metaphors for their social and natural worlds and symbolic discourse. Isn't this so wonderful, the way that her writing flows? It's just so interesting. You get a lot of history packed into there, but it's done in such a way that it's not dry. I just really love that. A little bit more from the introduction. It is important to note that per the ethnographic records, a good majority of ancient healing practitioners practice magic, divination, seeing, and journeying into non-ordinary realms, and even physical shape-shifting, blurring the lines between brujeria, witchcraft, and shamanism. As a curandera, I routinely practice magic, divination, healing, and trance journeying, as did my mentors. Consequently, I feel the term curandera is more useful in describing these practitioners, as it is more common and accepted that curanderas are skilled in diverse areas that are associated with both shamanism and witchcraft. So she lays it all out on the line, her entire philosophy, and the main topic of this book is about the spiritual connection that the Mesoamericans had, and some of whom today have, with animals. Now we're going to talk about the breakdown of the book. She talks about how to contact animals and medicine in the non-ordinary realms. There was much more pervasive and resilient understandings throughout ancient Mesoamerica of the characteristics and attributes that were connected an animal to a non-ordinary realm and vice versa to a cardinal space. learning and connecting with animals in their symbolic habitat. The non-ordinary spirit realms is a very effective way of developing spiritual connections and symbolic communication systems with our animal spirit guides. And there are different sections of the book where she talks about different ways to do that. She talks about going into trance. You hear things, you do breath work, you can stimulate your acupressure points, and just doing a lot of meditation. You can go into an excitatory state of shamanic dance and movement. She talks about the animals of sky, the animals of earth, and then the animals of water, then contacting the different kind of animals, different ways to do that. You use conscious breathing and you stimulate your third eye. She talks about activating the crown chakra to do that and going through your sacred heart. And then later on in the book, she talks about shapeshifting. Now, those of us who practice Wicca or other forms of neo-pagan witchcraft know we can't shapeshift into a cat or a rabbit and go eat the neighbor's crops the way that people said that we could during the witch trials. But she talks about more of a spiritual shapeshifting with them, getting in touch with them, taking on their characteristics, letting them guide you. And then there is a bit of talk about physically shape-shifting and different techniques that she suggests for doing that. Another thing she talks about is joining shape-shifting, and that is when we use our soul animating energies to project our consciousness into a physical animal. Now, I knew an old witch that said that she was able to meditate and see through the eyes of one of her spirit creatures. So those are some wonderful techniques that she talks about for doing that. She talks about how you can communicate with them symbolically. You familiarize yourself with them, and then you develop intuition to unite with them, and you practice shamanic dream work. And she also suggests doing automatic writing. That is a technique of divination that people will use. You go into trance and you have your pencil and your paper, and you completely relax, and you put your hand down, and you just wait for the writing to start on its own. That's a really good technique for any form of divination. Now we get to part 2. I'd say about 2/3 of the book is Animal Allies A to Z. And she talks about the mythologies, spiritual and shape-shifting medicine, and symbolism. So I'm just going to pick a couple of these and read. The dove. Doves were known to help strengthen trust and love in relationships. The partner they first mate with is the partner they stay with for life. When either of them dies, the other is known to cry and watch over their deceased partner by visiting the place where they died. The Central Mexicans believed that eating a dove's cooked flesh would help jealous partners forget their jealousy, strengthening their bonds in relationships. They are from the upper world of the sky. Spiritual and shape-shifting medicine ascribes to devotion, faithfulness, love, and peace, and the symbolism meanings are: reflect on the need to forgive anyone you feel may have wronged you and release any heaviness weighing on your heart and soul. Be gentle with yourself and engage in activities that emulate self-love and self-care. Find new ways of expressing your love and appreciation to the special people in your life, and you will in turn be open to receiving more love. And then, peace, understanding, and forgiveness are on the horizon in a prior relationship where there was a falling out. So that's her entry about the dove. She goes on to write about more animals. The owl. That's one that a lot of pagans are very familiar with, and this is a bit of a longer entry, so I'm just going to read part of it. And Comcotus, the principal Yucatec Maya death deity, Yum Samil, is painted as half owl and half human. And Popol Vuh, when underworld maiden Zikek is cast out from the underworld due to her pregnancy, She convinces the owl, messenger of the underworld, to spare her. The owl leads her to the surface of the earth, where she eventually gives birth to the hero twins. There's a little bit more lore about that. Spiritual and shape-shifting medicine is a virtue, wisdom, courage, and magic. And then some of the symbolism meanings are: your intuitive prophetic gifts are being awakened. Notice how they're making themselves known to you. Pay attention to the messages that are coming forth from your unconscious and subconscious via dreams, meditations, trance journeys, and daydreams. There's something unresolved that needs your attention. And it goes on to talk about many more wonderful animals. She's got notes and a bibliography in the back. I do recommend this book, especially if you're going to do work with spirit animals. Also, if you have students and you're trying to learn about the Mesoamerican belief system, this is a very good book. And as I said, she's not just somebody who went and read a bunch of stuff and declared herself as an authority. She knows people from generations ago, and each generation has been teaching the next generation, but she's also gone to modern university, and she is combining those two very important forms of education and educating other people. So that's certainly a blessing. Well, I do recommend this book, and you can get your very own copy from bearandcompanybooks.com. And this has been Saoirse with Animal Medicine, another video review for Pagan Pages. Blessed be.